Hi, this is my review of the Dungeon Under the Mountain, level 6. If you haven't seen my reviews of the other levels of the Dungeon Under the Mountain, I recommend that you check out the links in the description below. This particular level feels like it has more contrast when compared to the others. You have on the northern area a place that seems somewhat more artificial, like it has been shaped for a purpose. There are also some rooms in it that feel a bit on the science fantasy side of things. And in the south, you can see a network of tunnels and caves that feel quite natural. You feel as if they have been untouched, who knows for how long. Now, before we go further into the details of these map areas, let's talk about the quality of the PDF. The quality is great. The document is bookmarked. The brief explanation at the beginning is well written. Everything is quite clear. And you have the Rule the Dungeon button that allows you to hide the numbers, the furniture of different rooms and corridors. You can activate and deactivate the grid, the teleport areas, the water sections, the main areas, the secondary areas as well. You can also activate and deactivate the fill. You can also toggle between white and yellow for the entire color of the rooms, the corridors, the different sections, and so on. Then we have a legend with all of the symbols that you will see in the map. You also have a summary, which is basically the map divided by sections, and you can click on any of these squares so that it takes you directly where you want to go. This is very useful if the players are perhaps teleporting across the different sections and subsections, any area, any room, any corridor, and you can just click on that place where the players are going to, so you can take a closer look. Now let's talk about the map itself. As I was saying, the northern part, it feels like it has been shaped for a purpose. You see many strange rooms with star-like or pentagram-like formations. You can see some areas that are perhaps ritualistic. And as I was looking at the map, I was immediately thinking maybe there are two factions. One faction in the south, perhaps belonging to druids, have taken control over that entire section. But maybe the north is controlled by clerics, because you can see that contrast. As I go into different sections of the map, you can see there is quite a difference, and there are just so many rooms in the northern area that seem suited for a purpose, perhaps for summoning things, perhaps to store some lore or documents. There are even some parts that, as I was telling you, that feel almost like science fantasy themed. They look almost like parts of a spaceship, perhaps hidden in the walls, the floors, and the ceilings of these different strange rooms. There is some sort of machinery or devices or circuitry that the player characters can use to their advantage. Perhaps it's part of a puzzle, or perhaps it controls other levels in the Dungeon Under the Mountain. That would be a good way of connecting perhaps level 6 with level 2 or 3. Maybe something needs to be activated and a door opens. Maybe an area was closed off and you can only get access to that area by playing around or tinkering with the different devices in level 6. And as you can see in the southernmost area, there is this huge crater. It almost looks like a volcano of sorts. Maybe the druids are in league with some sort of eldritch creature that comes from the ground, or maybe this crater connects all of the different levels. And as you can see, the natural formations of the caverns and the water passageways, maybe there are worms or some sort of burrowing creature that has shaped all these different caverns. Maybe it's not just due to the passage of water or lava. Maybe there is something else that is shaping this part of the Dungeon Under the Mountain. And there are also some small rooms with a teleporting pentagram. Maybe there is a third faction, or maybe some individuals that are kind of like pariahs or have gone rogue of different factions, and they have been taking refuge in these caverns with the teleport pentagrams. Maybe they are waiting for their chance, they have their own plans, their own agenda. Maybe that's also a good idea to have an adventure or a series of adventures within level 6. Maybe the player characters are hired by any of these factions, and you can have any number of factions that you like, and they will have to adapt or adjust as they move between the different sections, because in the area where there are lots of caverns and this big crater and some teleports that are located quite conveniently close to the crater, maybe the player characters need to fight all sorts of cavernous or Underdark themed beasts and monsters in the southernmost area. But if they go up north, they have to fight against perhaps wizards and clerics, or perhaps there are also some constructs, golems, or even robots, considering the science fantasy elements that I was telling you about. So this is a map of great contrasts, as I was telling you. The combination of caverns and all of those rectangular and squared passages above with those star-shaped rooms. The characters perhaps will have to employ radically different strategies and tactics as they switch from one environment within level 6 to the other. So what do I think of level 6? It's another great level for the Dungeon Under the Mountain. There are a lot of possibilities to handle those contrasting moments between the architecture in the north and the natural formations in the south. And considering this is level 6 and it contains so many crevices and craters, and that huge crater in the south, there is a lot of potential as well to connect level 6 with other levels in the Dungeon Under the Mountain. Because so far there are 10 levels in the Dungeon Under the Mountain. The level 10 is particularly huge. So with different teleport areas and some ways to jump between levels here, that is, go down or up a level through different craters and perhaps using the pentagrams, there is a lot of potential to make level 6 a sort of like a midpoint, or perhaps even a hub in the entire Dungeon Under the Mountain, for the player characters to use as a sort of improvised gateway or passageway between all of the levels that they have conquered so far, and perhaps take some shortcuts towards levels that they have yet to explore. Well, thanks for watching my review. Remember to visit Zero One Games website. They have all sorts of maps, even some game material as well. Many encounters for you to populate the different rooms in the Dungeon Under the Mountain. If you feel that you need a bit of help getting inspired on how to fill those rooms with enemies and traps, you should definitely check out those encounters. Once again, thanks for watching my review. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. See you later.